Hello guys, and welcome back to Club Dead, and welcome to Season 7. I'm currently in a new set in my bunker cause there's a zombie apocalypse going on above ground. But don't worry, everyone that you know and love on the channel is alive and safe. So to start off Season 7, I'm covering a fan-made diary of a Wimpy Kid book titled Diary of a Wimpy Kid Zombie Apocalypse Part 1, made by Reddit user rough_improvement_16. The book's about, as you guessed it, a zombie apocalypse happens in the diary of a Wimpy Kid world. The story is good, but here's the only problem. For some reason, when you try to go to the link of the Reddit post to read the story, it's somehow been deleted from the subreddit. But luckily for the kill count, I will be using Tales of an Enigma narration of the book as footage for the kill count. So shout out to him for that. Also, there's only one part to the story. I don't know if the creator did more parts to the story, but just aren't available or not. So without further ado, will this Diary of a Wimpy Kid become Diary of a Zimpy Zid? Let's find out and get to the kills. The book begins on Friday, as Greg says that he woke up this morning with a headache due to the fact that he drank 3 cans of energy drinks before heading to bed. Jesus Christ, Greg, how is your heart somehow alive and beating? Greg continues saying that he then looked at his alarm clock and realized that he's 1.5 hours late for school, which then causes him to be angered by this cause he relies on his mom to wake him up for school and that she forgot it. He then walks downstairs and sees everyone gathered around the TV, so he asks his mom what was going on.
Breaking news!
Greg then says that apparently the zombie apocalypse has begun and says that zombies are spreading rapidly and that they need to evacuate. Been there, done that. He then bets that the schools are still open. Let's just hope that whatever city Greg lives in isn't run by anti-vaccine governor. Susan then tells the family that they need to pack their stuff and leave, as Greg says that he watched many zombie movies before and that he knows for a fact that there isn't a better place to be in a zombie apocalypse than a small town. But his mom said that there was no time for arguing, so Greg just did what she said. So let me ask you this, Greg. What are you expecting for the zombies during the zombie apocalypse? Is it either the slow as shit Walking Dead zombies, or the fast as shit zombies from 28 Days Later, or the cocaine zombies from Train to Busan? Just something to think about. Greg then says that they might have packed a little too much and thinks that they don't need a full golf club set to survive. Come on, golf clubs are great as weapons for zombie apocalypses. Greg then says that they've now been driving for a few minutes and their car is already making weird noises, and Greg says that he's not an expert, but this is not going to end well for them. Greg's mom then says that in order to protect themselves, they all need to have a firearm on themselves, as Greg thought that it was a great idea until she gave Manny the automatic rifle. I'm sorry, the mom gave a canonically 3 to 5 year old a fucking automatic rifle. That's like the equivalent of giving a child a blender and hoping that he knows how to use it. But turns out now that little Tommy is now turning his head in the soup in the blender. Meanwhile, Greg only got a small 9mm Glock 17, so he asked Manny if he wanted to trade guns, but he aimed his rifle at me and said no.
No, fuck you, bitch.
Roderick then tells Manny that he should aim the gun at his own head and then pull the trigger, and Greg thought it was pretty funny until he shot himself. Oh no, please don't tell me what I think he did. Oh, holy shit. Greg then says that he feels like he was the only one who felt bad about it, while Mom and Dad said that it was a good thing cause now he didn't have to experience the apocalypse, while Roderick laughed and considered himself the funniest man in the world. Maybe, just maybe, we can drop the Greg is a sociopath claims and should now realize that Roderick is a better case for it, you despicable bitch. Greg then says that the rifle is his now. Greg then says that a few minutes ago they had their first zombie encounter and says that thing looked gross and that he's looking forward to shooting those motherfuckers up. Greg then says that they've came across a radio tower in the middle of nowhere. Oh, so anything outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. As Frank says that this could be their chance of survival, so he stops the car next to the tower. He then tells them that one of them has to climb the tower in order to contact the emergency services. Greg then says, just to be clear, he's really scared of heights and he ain't even coming near that tower. But apparently Roderick thought it would be a fun experience, so they gave him their phone and they went, and 15 minutes later he was almost at the top and then he yelled something at them, but they couldn't hear him.
Blah 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 blah.
Greg then says that after Roderick descended, he told them that he saw a big survivor camp in the distance, and so they all got super hyped and that Greg finally felt some hope. They then hopped back in the car and drove in the direction Roderick told them, but then a few minutes into the trip a different car came speeding in the wrong direction, but Dad didn't have time to react, so they crashed into the other car. Greg then says that after the crash she woke up next to the road, and that he could see their car in the far distance, and thinks that he was ejected through the front window, or something like that, cause he couldn't recall walking away from the car. He then ran to their car to check if the others were alive, but sees that they were all dead. So minus Roderick, cause we don't see him confirmed dead. I can add to the count Frank and Susan Heffley, and the unknown driver to the count. He continues saying that Roderick is nowhere to be found, and thinks what happened to him is what happened to Roderick, but he guesses he will never know how his bro died. Greg then says that it's getting dark, and he doesn't know what to do, and thinks he's going to try and start the car, and if that doesn't work he'll need to find a place to sleep in the forest. He then continues saying that he's been trying to hack into the car, but still no success cause the fucking shitbox uses a chip to engage the ignition instead of a car key. Hold up, what kind of car uses a chip to start the car? That makes no sense.
Fucking shit-ass shitbox, for real.
Greg then says that he'll be sleeping in the forest then, and that he packed some food and water from the car and grabbed his rifle and headed out, which was stupid cause he forgot to bring a flashlight. He then says that he kinda found a little spot to settle down, so he closed his eyes and enjoyed the sunset, which was then kinda ruined, cause he could count his mom's limbs next to the car, which was a little unsettling, but admits that even though he was practically laying on top of an ant's nest, he was pretty comfortable. We're now on Saturday, as Greg says that when he woke up he felt like a wreck, but although he slept really well, the ants crawled into his ears and shit. Continues saying that well, it is finally the weekend. He kinda hoped he would be playing Twisted Wizards with Rolly today, but he has to focus on some other problems. He then notices the car was gone, so he gotta be stuck here, but he was thirsty and his dumbass forgot to bring more than half a bottle of water with him. He then walked a few miles into the forest in the hopes of finding water until he heard a sound coming from the bushes and notices that it was a zombie. He then tries to stay as still as possible in the hopes the zombie wouldn't notice him, and to his surprise the zombie was blind cause what zombie can't see what is happening 8 feet in front of them. So it's either of what I said, and instead it's the clicker zombies from The Last of Us. He then continues to stay motionless for a few more minutes until he was sure that the zombie had moved away, but confesses that he's not really that scared of them and seems that they are not even that hostile to humans, and continues saying that from all those years of playing Twisted Wizards, he thought zombies would be extremely hostile, but maybe they are, but they're blind as shit. He then comes across a small creek in the middle of the forest, and that the current was pretty strong, so it was safe to drink. Hope the creek doesn't any shits in it. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. He then admits saying that he kinda like it this way, cause he feels like he has infinite freedom now, and that he doesn't have to do homework, or the dishes, or anything like that. But on the other side, he misses his old life, and that he misses his family, and that they didn't deserve to die, but who knows, maybe he'll run into them as zombies. But it may sound weird, but he also misses school, but only a part of it, and that he misses his friends and all the beautiful girls, but doesn't miss the others. Greg then bets that those motherfuckers can't even survive a few hours in the situation, and hopes that they can't even because there are already enough monsters he has to run away from. Greg then says that there's an important choice he has to make, so he could either go back to the road and set up his camp there, or go deeper into the forest. So which choice do you think he makes? He decides to make his way deeper into the forest so he wouldn't be seen easily, but that also meant that it would be harder for him to see them. Whilst making his way further into the forest, he came across a small little hut which could be the perfect shelter, with the walls being made from stone and had an iron door and was covered in bushes. He then went inside and couldn't have asked for a better place cause it has a bed and a toilet. While he was making himself comfortable, he heard something and doesn't know if it was a zombie or a human, so he hid in the corner.
Is there someone here?
As the footsteps seemed to get closer to the hut up to a point where Greg knew he was at the door, but luckily he locked the door so Greg thought he wouldn't come in, but he started knocking violently, increasingly getting louder and louder until Greg was questioning if the door could even hold that amount of force. But then, BOOM! The book ends with a to be continued, which will probably never be continued. So how many kills did we get when Greg faces up against the zombie apocalypse? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Only 4 people died in Diary of a Wimpy Kid Zombie Apocalypse Part 1. Surprisingly low. The victims were 2 male victims, 1 female victim, and 1 victim of unknown gender, giving us this 50% blue pie chart. Comparing this with the other Diary of a Wimpy Kid book that I've covered, it had to less than the previous one that I've covered. We've seen this number 10 times before on Club Dead, with the most recent one being the Griver, and with a runtime from the narration of the book being 7 minutes and 33 seconds. seconds. We get a kill every 1.83 minutes. Obsidian Chainsaw will obviously go to many cause Jesus Christ that was an unexpected death and it was a child to Jesus Christ. Dirt Knife will go to the rest of the kills cause come on, there was the effort to a kid Kurt Cobain himself, but all we get from the other kills were just some text. And that's it. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Zombie Apocalypse Part 1 was posted onto the subreddit, but then was deleted in 2022. But luckily the Tales of an Enigma narration of the book was posted onto YouTube a year later in July 2023. And it's a great video doing the narration of a good book. So shout out to them cause they a real one. So until we meet again for more zombie kill counts, I'm Justin JT, and be fun people.
On the next kill count.